Hello, folks. This is Age of Crackadelia. Today, Wednesday, the 14th November, 2018. Well, the voting's done. The other party took the House. Um, I don't participate because I don't believe in the system. It's all bought and all bought to ignore all the inventions that takes away petrol. It takes away most of the police, all the solutions, and ran by think tanks with all these people that are supposedly smart. But you or I could come up with a better solution on our own. But they got all hundreds of think tanks advising governments on the quote new world order, same as the old world order. Hey, cuckoo. And so, yeah, the only changes is going to be changes toward the goal of the proper elite. They get all the tax cuts, and might as well just make it zero. Just might as well make it a big zero, and let them collect all their interest offshore accounts. Because they put the loopholes in to avoid a lot of tax too through the Congress. They put all those loopholes in. They had them all sponsored and it all passed. So what do they want the infrastructure to crumble? I guess that's it's not going to be all at once. It has to be a gradual, slow grind. Gradually slower, slow grind to total dysfunctional, crumbled infrastructure without a shot being fired, without a bomb being dropped. The Federal Reserve is greater than a standing army. But they got this web so big, we're all stuck in this web. And you ever try to see an insect get out of a frickin' web? Probably ain't gonna happen. Sorry. Insurance company affiliate, I guess, for Blue Cross. Aetna. Aetna is huge. A huge insurance holding company. Gigantic. And that's where it seems to all going to end up in the few giant holding insurance companies are going to own all this shit. Um, so what are you going to do? You can't. How are you going to live not using the dollar? How are you going to live? you're gonna have to barter something. Uh, Max Egan would always say, "You're all gonna have to stop going to work for a week. You're gonna all have to stand down. Stop the world, the emaciations of the material corporate world." It had to be a collective effort. That's the impossible part, to get everybody to get on the same page. But like Max says, this is despite the gross injustices and the thievery and the deception. This is the time, no better time, to do something. I don't know what to do, but there is no other. Is there another system that's ready to be used that you can participate in? There is no other system created for us to participate in. Where do you go? You go in the fucking woods in a tent? I guess so. I'm gonna work 40 hours and live in a fucking tent. But I'm gonna go out to eat. But I'm not gonna use the utility company and the water company. You know, that's all that shit was. We didn't need to pay for that. You notice, like Matt says, the GE, they never go out of business. There's never a crisis. Obviously, because, well, most people in America need that. They need the water, they need heat, air conditioning. They're getting the money hand over fist. They shouldn't have. They should never fail. You would think, and all the businesses need it. They're using tons of energy and electricity. The whole government uses it. Electricity, air conditioning, heat, all the water, blah 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 blah. That's another problem in Michigan. Well, we had Amazon's moving in 2-3 miles away. They got a 12-year tax abatement. Visteon, it's the old Ford Visteon plant on Mound Road, 23 mile road in Mound, Shelby Township, Michigan. And then apparently they left it a mess. They polluted the shit out of it. Now the people at Amazon are paying for the cleanup, which the Ford gets to walk away from that shit scot-free, I guess. There's no legal. They're not going after them. The state, anyway. Well, probably can't afford that because you're giving everybody a tax abatement. So that's cool if Amazon's going to help clean it up, but they do get a 12-year state tax abatement. And we've already had problems with state pensioners are already been discounted, already been had their checks cut. I'm assuming, especially after the 90s NAFTA in Michigan was gutted the auto supply industry. I mean, after the year 2000 and on, before 2008, you could go up right here near where I live here, where it was all the suppliers were in this 5 by 5 mile radius in the suburbs. Empty, empty, gone. All for leased. Out of business, moved or moved to Asia. And then, all because of that global trade system, the state's got no choice now. We need jobs, so you don't have to pay taxes anymore to the state. And then they got the loopholes in the federal government, and they got a tax cut, blah, 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 blah. They keep getting tax cuts federally, so they're almost at zero now. Not contributing to the infrastructure. They don't have to contribute to the pension, the infrastructures, but they get to use it through all their trucks and shit, all their transportation. So, and then now there are people in the Supreme Court has granted them personhood. But I guess that doesn't apply to taxes. Just corporate tax, and then there's personal tax. I don't know how you get the Bill of Rights geared toward the individual. Yeah, and then there's people that'll say, oh, well, there's Bitcoin. Buy Bitcoin. Alright? Well, you want to live in a virtual world? You in a cashless society? I mean, I'd rather have the government printing the cash. I don't know. The country has had so many recessions and depressions in its history. It was that the elite meddling with when the government was issuing the cash, the currency. The elite would want to create these recessions, because that's how they buy up all the stuff cheap. Because they're flush with cash, and then when all the values go down for real estate's big, and all those values plummet. They buy it all, and then it goes up again, and then they sell it, and then they do another recession. They could still do it even if the government's issuing the currency into circulation without a private central bank. So they got it. Those bankers got to get that country to their knees with recessions, depressions, war. Costs a lot of money. So leaving after the revolution, you had to borrow. The war cost a lot you had to borrow from the private central bankers because you couldn't operate anymore. All your money went to the war effort, whatever. So you can see, and then, the Masonic Brotherhood plays both sides. At least since for a long time. All the revolutions, all wars by America, All the invasions, I call them, based on lies, false flags, hoaxes, etc., etc. But yeah, British generals, top brass, all all Masons. Same thing in America, Washington, all that top brass are Masonic, Rosicrucian, etc. White, Golden Circle. There's a lot of them. Knights of Malta. Rome. Like the Rothschilds are with the Jesuits. The brand of the Knights of Malta, which I guess is, I'd have to check again. It was formed by the sons of Roman emperors. Their little clique, the Holy See dynasties, etc. So, I guess it's inevitable. I guess it's that because you're gonna always have greed, and you're gonna always have, not necessarily in old Europe before the spread of Christianity, Constantine and KG and King James, the shamans would weed out these psychopaths as children. They knew what to look for, make sure they were going to get into power. They reprogram them, isolate them, or a way to where they wouldn't rebel out. We want psychopaths and getting up the chain in charge like we got right now. All too many sociopaths. And like, oh, you go see 108, Morris 108. It's about getting rid of Aboriginal tribalism, blood-based communities of loyalty. They call it. Well, they marry their cousins, their second cousins. There's a blood tie of loyalty. And you better dare not go. You better dare not double cross. You're going to be in a pack of trouble. Right? Because all those loyalties around you, they're all married into their blood. You know what I'm saying? They work as a cohesive unit to survive and are stewards and are good stewards to the earth. I mean, not to say that I don't like convenience and such. I like cars, I like trains, I like planes, blah, blah, blah. But there's other things that can fuel those other than disgusting petrol, polluting. I mean, it's understood there's other methods. And with today's technology, we no problem. But they got psychopaths and sociopaths in charge of the government. They bought all of it. And don't forget, newspaper, I don't know, the Washington Post, New York Times, 1940, New World Order, pledge to the Jews. The Jews is a term made up in 1785, I guess. And Theodore Herzl was an organizer in the, quote, Jewish community And apparently he wanted to get rid of this identity of Jewish. Because look at all the problems. You've been kicked out of all these countries. You got no home. You got to get rid of this. Well, I guess the Khazars twisted his arm and got him to lead the modern Zionist movement. And it's been shit. All the white people killed themselves in 2 world wars. It was fucking white genocide by each other. The idea to call the white people the Khazars' worst enemy, because they run the banks, the currency, the corporations. We are their arch enemy. Sorry. Have a good day.